talk to yourself and answering yourself is a different level of crazy.
Great, I do that.
Didn't say it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
That was for me.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Should I call the order first and let next speak? Because we're gonna get on the record. I think put him on the record. We have- That's right, me too. Wait, let me open this so it doesn't look weird.
We got the dream team on the IDA board, a lot of two administrators.
Everybody felt that.
And the lip on this.
Good.
Pullover with the emblem.
I don't.
We see where Warren County's money going.
Yeah, I buy these.
Yeah, we are all set.
We're coming on after work. No.
You wanna introduce our guest and coach? What you got?
Oh, we're good.
We're ready? We're recording?
All right.
Yes.
All righty. We got some new members. We'll do some introductions here shortly, but let me start with the, I call to order the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on January 20th, 2026 at 4 p.m. May I get a roll call, please, Ally?
Yes, Brian Campbell,
Here.
Dan Bruno,
Here.
John Tafflin.
Here.
Kevin Mahoney.
Here.
Charlie Tall,
Present.
Melissa Fitch.
Here.
Mark Yearshaw.
Here.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a quorum. We have 8 out of 10.
Great. We're gonna slow it down just a minute here. First, let's give Nick Camino on the floor to an opportunity, board member for a few decades.
Very much.
Very much, yes.
Thank you. 2 minutes. This is my last meeting. And I was just talking to these folks, with the plant back here. I was the chairman with the down New York papers. Okay, that's 37 years ago. So, but I left once and, somebody grabbed me back and I have had the opportunity to work with some great people. I'm here to say to Mark and Melissa and Connor and Charlie, the new ones, you have a great group to work, and this community has a wonderful piece of a group that wants to do things for this community. And we have a staff, those people who are doing just wonderful, wonderful things. And when we went on top of the chairman to the CEO, we went sky high. And I don't know if there's anybody else in the state as good as we are. And the new people, God bless to you. And the old people that I'm leaving, God bless to you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nick.
Let's make introductions of our guests. Start with Chuck to introduce our guests.
From LaBella, Paul Delay and Liz DeBrama, and they were at the last meeting actually, in our town, so welcome back.
Great. And do we,
Was that?
Good case, good case. We have anybody online?
We do not.
Nobody's online. Let's go around and if I may, put the new board members quickly on the spot for 1 or 2 minutes and introduce yourself. Start with Charlie. I know he doesn't mind pressure.
My name is Charlie Paul. I've been for a while and very short-lived as supervisor invested and I grew up in Lake George. What do you want me to do?
That's it. It's 2 minutes. I'll leave it to you.
Grew up in Lake George. I've done a lot of new in various ways over my life. It's brightening it up and I'm happy to be here and help in any way I can. And, thanks.
Great, thank you. We'll move to Mark Gearshaw, who should be the president of the United States in about 2 or 3 decades.
So Mark Pierce with Arrow Bank. I know many of you and those of you I don't, so the success of Warren and Washington County is very important for Arrow. It's many, both employees and customers. So being a part of this group is super exciting for me. We're appreciative of the opportunity. I know I'm taking, filling the role of Judy Sullivan, who was here for many years to support this group, but my wife's from Washington County. We live in Warren County. The success of this area is very important to us, on a personal level, so really happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Great. And the second half of our key to both the Warren and Washington counties, the municipalities, Melissa, please.
My name's Melissa Fitch. I'm the Washington County Administrator. Have been for the last 5 years. I've worked for Washington County since 2012. Started as personnel officer, administrative civil service. And I'm very excited to be on this board because I want to see where Washington County can be in a few years from now. Like, I'd like to see us become more than what we are. I think partnering and working with Warren County, there's just a lot of assets here that I think we haven't even tapped into yet. So it's exciting to see where we can go.
Great, thank you so much. And Connor McCoy, who is our fourth member, new member, he is actually, as I mentioned, enjoying some time with their new little baby, so that he will be joining us next. All right, moving on. In your meeting packet, starting on page 4 to page 8, you had the minutes of the December 15th IGA board meeting. I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes. John, second. Charlie, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed or abstain? Motion carries. Great. With Tim Robinson stepping down, we don't have a treasurer, so you'll have to deal with me for the treasurer's reports. Starting on page 2 is the accounts payable. I am going to go a little bit slower and go down through just to allow our new team members to get caught up, so please bear with me. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to jump interrupt me. Fitzgerald, Morris, Baker, and Firth to my left is our wise counsel. And so if you look at the expenses, it's broken out with general services. These are non-reimbursable expenses. This is what, if I call with a question or we work on staff issues that are not part of any grants, that's where those expenses are. Then you see we have broken down in what's reimbursable by Fast New York, and then the project fees as we get our projects in. There's legal expenses to those projects that are reimbursable, and one of our projects is everything underfoot, Native Development, and then North Creek Resort. So total of 2672 with only 1187 or 84 of that being non-reimbursable. Moving on to our rent, that's our building in Glens Falls. As you can see, rent is $1,000 a day. For those that haven't had it, or $1,000 a month, thank you so much. Those that not have an opportunity to view our office, if you walk into it, the conference room is like 2 steps away. The CEO desk is 4 steps away, and then Allie's office is like 4.5 steps away. It's a little light. It's hard to bring non-local potential investors into our area to that office space. That's something that we're going to have to look at this year and move forward with. But currently, that's our office space and rent. So if you ever want a tour of that, please check with Allie or Chuck, and they'll happily give you the 3-second tour. There is a break room as well in there that they will happily show you as well. So that's where we're at. All right, I'm setting up something in the future when we discuss rent in the future. All right, Spectrum monthly bill, that's obvious. Payroll, you can see those are our payroll numbers for the month. CDPHP, employee health insurance, that's well defined there. First National Bank of Omaha is our credit card charges. And then we have a railroad utility application fee, which is currently showing as reimbursable part of that as well. National Grid, as you talk with Canal Side, we own the traffic light electric bill there. The pump station is a shared expense, and the substation is also partially reimbursable. Luckily, we do have a map. You can see the transformer, or the where is that? Right there.
Right next to the orange line.
The orange line for the new members. The substation is right there. And so that is shared with the leasers of the property, some of the expenses there.
It says partially reimbursable. It's mostly reimbursable. With our tenants, we meter the electricity and allocate the costs.
Great. And then withholding taxes, both at the federal and state level, you can see are the next 2 lines. ADK Tech is our new tech services. You see there's a monthly fee there. And CBRE used to be our realtor. They did the deal with, the Kiewit laydown. So that is their fee. Once that lease ends, which should be shortly, then that fee will go away. So that's their cut of the lease. Vision insurance, you see it there. RU Homes, Bob Holmes, if you, start attending, executive committee meetings, you'll see Bob there mostly. That's where he attends, and, he works with us on, Airport Industrial Park, which we will go over in a while, as well as the, East Street detour modifications, which is also on the map, and we will talk about that a little bit more once we get into Canal Side. If you can see East Creek, the road there, that, it's, orange highlighted, that road needs some modifications, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when you hear about the detour. That is the area that we are talking about. Special district taxes, nobody escapes those. For those that, canal site property that GE went under, there was a $1.2 million tax bill. The IDA was the entity that paid that bill. And since that time, the IDA has been on the hook for special district taxes plus all the utilities for the last couple of years. So, this is one of the bills that the IDA took, it has to pay in order to maintain the property, that they bought. And then our annual website maintenance, you see that there. And then we will celebrate our, board members that rolled off. You see those plaques there. And then we do still own some parcels of land in the Airport Industrial Park, which is by the Queensbury Airport. Those, you can see the utility, special district and water bills there. We'll talk about those. We were down to 3 major sections left. We just last board meeting approved the sale of one of those. So now we're down to 2 general sections that we're trying to sell, and we'll give the team an update on that. And then, EDC, Warren County, that's the annual membership fee. And then, yep, the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board on page 3. You can see that we coordinate with them on, grants. We partner with them, and their fees are reimbursable. All the 2 remaining grants that we have, Fast New York as well as HUD, the, payments in arrears, so you get the expense, and then, as quarterly, and for, HUD, we submit for reimbursement. So the reimbursement comes, up to a quarter later. And Fast New York, we still have not yet, received a reimbursement or submitted for one yet. They are, require a little bit more, funding to be used before they reimburse. And then Central Insurance is a Q1 payment. That is for Canal Side as well. And that's the property tax. Property insurance. Thank you. And we also want to add 3 more, invoices that we received that are not on the list. Busy Bee Bookkeeping, is the accountant that we use to help out. We've got $566.81 in, fees there. And then Labella as well. You 2 can close your ears. We got 2, one, which is reimbursable expense at $41,396.75, and 1 non-reimbursable offense or expense at $16,083.75, which is the expense, for the detour road, that we're tracking as well. And so with that, before we open it up for discussion, I will entertain a motion to, accept the payables with the 3 adjustments. Dan, second. Brian, discussion, anybody? We have a not to exceed annual fee of, was it 5,000?
I believe, was it 5 or 7,000? I would like to note that this $566, 200, and don't quote me on this, 270 or 280 of that was for our annual QuickBooks software. Yes, she paid it and we're reimbursing her. Then the other half was for her services. We were, that's what it was. We just recently switched to QuickBooks Online, and that's something that I'll go into more during the staff report. But so most of her fee was for this new software. So no, that was just a one-time thing.
So for those that have made the transition from desktop to online SaaS, it's tough. but they're shrinking the QuickBooks desktop, and going strictly online. So. All right, any other questions? All right. With that, I will, roll call vote, Ally, please.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno.
Yeah.
John Tafflin,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yearshaw. Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. All right, moving on. Year-to-date financial report, starting on page 9. This is the, now QuickBooks Online, so those that have used to seeing it just a little bit differently, it's the same information, just now being, pushed out through QuickBooks Online. Again, I'm gonna take this just a little bit slower today, just, for our new 4 board members. If you look at our revenue, it's 2 columns, January to December 2025 as compared to January to December 2024. And if it helps to have either percentage or dollar changes to help you with your assessment, please let us know, and that's a quick adjustment we could make on the report. Land total lot sales 2675. The first bolded section as you're working down, you can see that is a negative number, negative 32,189. So, and Chuck, help me if I get this wrong, but and what we have in our balance sheet is the appraisal cost of these pieces of land that some of them we've obtained 20, 30 years ago. The new appraisals that came in a couple years ago, it took into account the wetlands of these, the wetlands portions of these parcels, which drove the price of these parcels substantially down. So when we sell a parcel like we recently did, you're gonna see a negative offset in our profit and loss and balance sheet, because we have allocated, or we have annotated in QuickBooks in our balance sheet, the appraisal of value of many years ago. So while it's showing negative on paper, we didn't write a check for negative 32,000. It's just the administrative offset of the numbers to get that, make sure the balance sheet is correct at the end. Yeah, we didn't pay them to take it. Yeah, correct. So,
Actually, you see both sides of this sale of 24, and we didn't realize we still have value books, so we're doing our audit, we realized the write-offs was right off the current 25. So that's all associated with the same transaction.
so that's why you see the negative number there. Stop me if you have any questions. Moving on to interest income. Yeah.
But it would be adjustment to balance sheet item instead of here, but do we do that all the time?
We're actually in the process of changing to a tool.
Yes.
You'll see our reimbursements are going crazy, being paid and then reimbursed a couple months later. And this year, January 1st, we're going to a accrual basis to help out. And that's, at least doesn't answer all your questions, but yeah, we are looking to do more activity on the balance sheet. This is part of,
asked about that in December.
Yes.
and this is part of really having Busy Bee involved, because she is a technical person with the accounting, so she's been very helpful to us.
Thanks, sorry, Bill.
No, you have to ask the questions. Please continue asking the questions. The interest income, if you take a look, it's 83,000, and we've earned an interest income compared to 2024, where we earned 89,000. We do have currently 2.3 million, and we'll talk about that a little bit on the balance sheet. In our money market account, the interest rates have been going down, so we've been driving. It used to be 2 million, and we've been driving it up just to try to match. But as you can see, as the rates go down, even as we put more money into the money market account, that we still haven't reached the pinnacle of last year. So, but 83,000 still is a great way to let your money sit. And then moving on to non-operating revenue, still in the up in the income section, you can see canal side lease income is 328,000 this year as compared to 402,000 from 2024. Kiewit, which is the construction company that's doing the major project, is starting to wind down and virtually almost out of canal side now. And so we expect that number to be substantially down. Once have they submitted the official 30 days?
It's March 31st, so it's hardwired in.
Okay, so March 31st, they'll be done. And then the only leaser at that point, other than the rail usage, which we'll talk about, will be our electric in the small. If you look at the two warehouse buildings, they are leasing the smaller warehouse building on a month-by-month lease. And they are a Fort Edward company that has, this is their second location, and they use it for storage of their trucks. And then if you continue a little bit further down, you see 8,700 in existing project fees, but 329,000 plus in new project fees as compared to 115,000 last year. This used to be one of the primary sources of revenue for the IDA. It still is, but it's one of many now that we don't rely on this. It is exciting when it happens, but when you start looking at these projects that Chuck and Allie bring into consideration, some of these projects take years to mature, and very rarely is there a project with one phone call and then you've got a project application in front of us 2 months later. It's months and months and months of work, and so the ebb and flow of when these come is really fascinating, and it is just it's hard to put a budget number here because some of these projects we've been trying to work on for multiple years and still haven't brought them to completion, and some will get right to the end and they'll stop. And so it's a fascinating line there, one near impossible to budget accurately, but as you can see, last year was a very good year. But the two previous years were the lead up of all the hard work of visiting these business owners and getting them connected with the right people in the municipalities to be able to bring the project forward. That it's just, this is probably 60–70% of Chuck's time is right here in this area. Rail usage fees, 2116.5. That is, the gross number is the first one for the year is 212,000. We share the rail. You can see the rail here with WCC, which is the entity that, you want to talk a little bit about WCC?
Yeah, they own 2/3 of the track into the site. We own the track on the site. So when the site transferred to us, there is existing agreement between them and Fort Edward for revenue sharing, expense sharing, and that currently continues. The issue we have here, though, there's always a little bit of a timing issue. Sometimes one entity is slow or quick. So you'll see, for example, 212,000, that the reimbursement is not exactly half. That's because of the timing issue that occurs quarter to quarter. And it's been working very well with WCC, SMS Rail, and the IDA. So and as you can see here, thus far, or 2025, we netted about $120,000. So it's been good for offsetting some of our operating expenses.
But you're saying that would actually be on 6?
Yeah, and we'll, again, there's a time when we get the revenue, we'll get the expense, and then we charge out the expense to WCC, and then they reimburse us. So sometimes, frankly, SMS Rail is still some of the revenue side. So
And of course, that's 3 times nearly what, or just 3 times. Is that because of the increase in the amount of grain?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Talk about good economic activity. We have a lot of grain shipments coming to the area through and outside, and it's been very
Caused by a strike in Canada, and they never switched back.
Yeah.
Good for our local economy.
So on the income side, just in quick summary, our income streams, we've got lot sales, which we still have 3 more, one substantial that we'll talk about. We have interest income from our money market account. We have charges for new projects and existing projects. And then we have lease for our canal side property up until we sell it. And then we have the rail usage fee. So we have 5 main streams of income that the IDA uses in order to fund economic development for both counties. So before I move into the expense side, is there any questions from our new members? All right, expenses, I won't go line by line. So I'm more of a summary here. You can see the expenses that we have for owning land at the Airport Industrial Park. It's not much. It's just some of the taxes. Our operating expenses include payroll and then staff items. Our canal site expenses are there until we finish up the grants and sell the property. And then What I will highlight for you in the middle of, page 10 is, bridge and detour. That's the current expenses there for that, detour project that we have, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. Chuck will on canal side update for the team. And then, of course, employee benefits, and I'm down at the bottom. So, and then if you go to page, 11, you see all the other operating expenses, you know, insurances, marketing, rent, subscriptions, telephone, and then, professional services down below. I give the team a second if especially any new board members that have any questions. I promise we won't be this detailed every time. I just wanted to give you guys a quick chance to get caught up.
We had a reconciliation 2 years in a row. That's one more with that, under the inventory adjustment or is it?
That was our auditors from basically clean up our balance sheet for 2 years, not well kept, and so we're cleaning it up. And Ali, that $51,000 adjustment for this year was, you called the transaction for last year?
That had been an overstatement from EFPR. It was incorrect. I don't remember the details, but then, Karen, our bookkeeper, made a journal entry to tie them. I mean, we won't see that after this year's audit, but that was just a correction from their overstatement, as I noted.
Don't we gotta add the fund, Charlie, because things have been so much in limbo and change, like with buying the canal site property, our balance sheet's all over the board. So, yeah, nothing will look normal for a while.
Yeah, we're something over.
Yeah, from here going forward, it's gonna.
And the auditor, busy
Yeah.
days.
Accrual basis. Really help.
But if you go back, it's, yeah, there's everywhere.
Parts.
What drives me 7,700?
What page? That has to be canal side.
Station.
Yeah. Very close, yes, each time, like, this electric is fine.
93,000,
Yeah, 93 versus 56 is what?
because there's more activity with Q on site. And soil storage and engineering trailers, they ramped up and they ramped down, so that is what, and I talked earlier that most of it's reimbursable, that's 8,000 a minute. So yes, we paid 93.
Gotcha.
But 80 was out. All we do is have an empty building, that's mainly our charge.
They had Gucci restrooms there.
Yeah.
Race, you don't want in race with buyers, right? Because we don't, we go. Yeah. And that's a great period. Yeah, it will vary from sense of the, you know, this one to the center of that, you know. But, we don't.
All right. Any other questions on the profit and loss before we move to the balance sheet? All right, moving on to the balance sheet. This should help our new members really get a feel for where we are as 98. As far as cash on hand, total cash starting on page 13, you can see at the end of 2024, we had $2.082 million. And at the end of December this year, we had $2.541 million. So that is currently what we have in the bank accounts, and you can see how it's separated there above. We try to keep the checking account, you know, between 200,000 and 300,000 to manage our cash flow. And anything beyond that, should we have it, that gets sent back down and the board gets notified, and we'll get that into the money market to get the better rate. So for total for bank accounts, you can see that. Accounts receivables, you can see it's a small number there. And then current assets, the grant reimbursement is the biggest number, 159,000 there. As you can see, we are, that is one of the areas that our grants are really making our numbers shift differently. But all in all, you can see 2.7 million in current assets completely on the balance sheet. Any questions from our new members before we move to the other section? All right. Fixed assets. This is where you're gonna see some interesting The Canal Site Park, as we added to our balance sheet, was the $11.7 million. For the new board members, that the new appraisal came in last year, and we can get you that if you want to see it. But the IGA board last year did approve a market to market the Canal Site property for $8 million. And so, should we be able to sell Canal Site, you'll see we'll have a balance sheet adjustment that we have to do. And then, but if you take into our sunk costs, you can, that 1.2 million in back taxes that the IDA paid plus expenses minus any revenue during that time frame, even the sell price at 8 million, which is the current value with utilities, is a good decision by the board. All right.
Appraised value is 11.75.
Well, yeah.
Appraised value, not appraised value.
Well, it was, yeah, well, not the previous appraisal, right? There was an appraisal in 2024. I believe was the latest.
19, I think.
This one, yeah.
And is that the basis that we argue with the county or our taxes? The assessment on books is 10.3. You could certainly argue that down. Well, yeah, we go even deeper because the appraisal added 5, anything logs you're going to with utility plans, and they're under construction now, or soon to be under construction. So there's a couple of things. And any prospective buyer of the site, this initial prospective buyer of the site will have a town village. The grievance process. Is that? No, with prospective buyers doing due diligence now, the village now have notified that they're interested in looking at those assessed numbers. And I understand the town and village are going to do their own phase. In March 1st, it's the cutoff date.
That's your date of record. So they got time to work that out before then, and then agreement would come in May, but they would need to own it before March 1st agreement.
And so questions, do we go down that path? That could be. We're not going to sell it without agreement. Agreed. Yeah. We don't know we're going to sell it. We don't go down that. Agreed. Because then it's more attractive to the buyer. Correct. Yeah, no, the town and village are what we were. But now if we're looking at prospective buyer, when they might say forward, we don't know. So to your point, we might want to start the process ourselves.
Yeah. Good, great.
And already has the appraisal, that's the big thing you gotta have, so.
And the town and village have to.
Right.
So,
Right, so if you see total assets on the balance sheet, is 14.7 million. And then you go into the liability section, which is, not much, because the total equity is still at 14.6 million. So a healthy balance sheet, I think our bankers would agree. It's on the loan committee with Mark, so we had a lot of practice in this. So I will leave it, just any questions from our new board members? I want to give you an opportunity. The third financial document that you see is a profit and loss for the month that the prior month to the board meeting. We don't review that because again, you can see where rail usage fees, a lot of checks went out, but it doesn't account for the revenue that we received. So you will see that that is it's a micro view that is not very accurate of how we've done, and the profit and loss of year to date is the one that we focus on. But we want to make sure that everybody has the information that all the information to ensure that they have any questions. So I will leave it at that if there's not any other questions on our year-to-date financial reports. All right. Entertain a motion to accept the year-to-date financial reports. Dan, second. John. We do a roll call vote, Allie, please.
Brian Campbell. Dan Bruno.
Yes.
John Tathland.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney.
Yes.
Charlie Tall. Melissa Fitch. Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. All right, we'll go to reports of the committee. Start with Park Chair.
Yes, sir. And outside. Anyway, it's pretty much on. The only thing left there right now are their concern are number of containers, if you will, and those are part of conducted, the wheel, the part of that. Should be minimum. But other than that, all equipment. These part, all that stuff on the phone, gantry crane, the high lift, that's gone. So not much left there as far as fuel. Cleaning up. Later on in the snow, melt, hopefully, Mr. Mark and I will review the growth of the site, just to make sure we're okay before the end of the lease term. Our electric. Repair. That's in the rail. We're moving grain cars. It does appear to me that that's slowing down somewhat. If I alluded to this for you. Been good. And hopefully it'll continue. Does it with it. Going down based on what I see as far as cars sitting on the rail. And we'll have our engineer, Lavella, give us some detail on the utility upgrade with the world, the water, sewer, and also a little bit on the access road. The new people who found access road leads up from East Street. We're improving that because on the north end, there's an existing temporary bridge there that is replaced by permanent structure. Washington County should do that for taking to a distant bridge. So while that access is out of commission, we need to provide something on the south end, so that with that. Again, we're going to want more.
Yeah, just that it has to be capable for 18-foot trucks because of grain shipments.
Yeah, that and possibly other items coming in. So that is, that's going bid.
We're releasing the package tomorrow.
But anyway, so that's it for now. Mr. Burke, probably should have what I said. Mr. Donald, the speaker. So that's it for now as far as I'm and the airport Mr. Park. We're looking at the sale of the last two parcels.
Ferguson Land Extension.
Hopefully we'll get ourselves with those that area and all those parts of the ring maybe I don't really have. So that's a work.
Great. Thank you, sir. All right, let's turn it over to Chuck to lead us through some of the canal site project updates, and we'll pause for voting as we need.
Yeah, there'll be 3 topics for us to vote on. We will build technical service change order number 4. The seeker is going to question, and I will be tag teaming to that. Paul also, and then I talked also about the map plan report for approval. As far as this came out late yesterday, the things have moved pretty quickly. I'll start by saying, as far as water capacity, speaking with the water district, they asked for some specifics as far as the amount of water needed for projected site employees and the amount of water needed for fire suppression tank refill rate. And so that was a technical change that we learned that was necessary last week, and the bill is coming up to update the back fund report yesterday. Other than that, nothing really has changed last version of that fund report. Also, the bill is engaging the railroad authorities regarding East Street Railroad crossing next to Fort Edward Amtrak Station. Engineering design at 60% completion was submitted to Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway for review. They had minor comments which were received and have been addressed. Right now, I believe Lavelle is working on the 90% completion design. Is that correct? Been submitted. Anything to add?
Yep, our plans for coming.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. And by the way, what Liz and I are talking about on the map that Liz kindly brought, that's that blue line. That is the new water line on East Street. That is part of the village water district, but is not adequate for servicing the site. And you'll see where the blue line, orange line, that orange line is the current path of the water line. It is also the proposed path of the new sewer line. So we thought that it'd be helpful for people to see this map and understand the two projects of water and the run from the sewer line. They're already discussed. We also have the road widening project East Street, Mr. Bruno talked about. And then you'll see, when you look at the site, the white cross hatched, that is the new proposed water district area. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but for the seeker discussion, we just want to make sure everyone's well grounded into those four projects. So continuing on to this new sewer connection. As previously mentioned, we have a potential site buyer that needs only sanitary connection for employees and does not generate commercial wastewater. This scenario reduces the scope and cost of the sewer connection. The Bella has assigned a lower capacity connection via East Street, that's the orange line. Mr. Bruno, Bella, and I have met with the Washington County District Chairman and Executive Director and Consulting Engineer in December to review this concept, and they conceptually agree. They are, however, checking the integrity of the sewer line that we have to connect into the East Street. So that is underway. We're doing a CCTV camera put in the line. They attempted it a few weeks ago. It didn't work. That'd be another camera. So soon we'll know the integrity of that line. If it's in good shape, that's wonderful. If it's not, then we have an issue. We'll have to speak with the sewer district about. Anything to add to that, Paul or Liz? Okay. Moving on, with whatever we do with sewer, we'll need DEC permitting approval. We also, where that orange line runs is on WCC land. So we're going to be talking with WCC about either an agreement to also run the sewer line along the land, or they've come back and suggested we buy the land. So we will talk then about what the proposed sale price would be. More to come on that. That's it on sewers. Any questions on water and sewer before I go on to the Lavelle Technical Services change order? Okay, in your board package was the letter from Lavelle dated January 13th. On my cover email, I explained that there are 4 changes right now. The agreement with Lavelle is for a total of $915,000. Proposal to move it up $173,000 to rounding about $1.1 million. We do have excess funding right now as far as looking at our forecast expenditures. So this additional is 173 will not put us over budget. The major driver with this change is a new wastewater design for East Street connection I just spoke about. That's $141,000. Then there is a proposed change for the work associated with the seeker that we're about to go through. It's very involved, so there's an extra $15,000 proposed there. And then there's proposal for the NEPA. NEPA is the federal environmental review process, which is necessary for us to do for the HUD grants that we have. We have to go back to HUD, modify our plan. Before we do that, we have to update the NEPA. So nice thing is Lobel's already done most of the work with the seeker. It just the information needs to be modified to the federal NEPA format. Can I explain that properly? Okay. And then Lobel did realize that there was some monies in for coordination with Canal Corp sewer line that is no longer going through Canal Corp land, so there's a little bit of savings of $5,000. So the proposed increase is $173,507. That's it, unless there are any questions. Yes, sir.
So we're going forward as this will be sold to someone that this will work for them.
Correct. Great question. Yes, it would work for them, and if they set up by the site, it's well positioned for anybody else.
For anybody else that's in the same magnitude,
Correct.
but if it's totally different,
So, right, so we've been down this road with Canal Site a couple of times where every time somebody's come up, it's, we need utilities, and so continuing down this road and getting this complete at this level for this type of potential buyer gets us in a great playing field to where if this, even if this doesn't work out, the next person has a starting position to where they can start their operations and then build capacity as they need to and as they want to based off of their needs. So right now we have a site that if a company comes in, and their future site, they're gonna have to use porta potties in order to take care of their team. And you can't build a site of the future for somebody with porta potties. So we have to get these basic utilities in. We just happen to now have knowledge that what we're bringing in today will help with a potential manufacturer in the future. And so I mean,
it will suffice for a certain size.
for the start, right? And if somebody needs additional capacity, they have their start.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right,
Somebody needs to augment what we're providing.
but it would still come from the same place, the same origination line. They would just have to expand it.
Yeah, you may recall we had the original plan to run a line along the canal to the sewer district treatment facility. And that was, for discussion purposes, a $3 million project. But then the DEC came into the sewer district and said that would be a stormwater offset of $9 million, which the district didn't have, and we certainly didn't have. So obviously, the more capacity, the higher the expense. Nice thing is that this prescribed capacity fits within our existing budget right now and actually frees up the funds to consider a natural gas production, natural gas production. Right, this is not required for them. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Melissa, did you have something? No.
Motion on that?
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to accept technical services change order number 4, Seeker, NEPA, and Water Design, Canal Site Energy Park from Labella. Dan, second. Brian, final discussion, anybody? All right, roll call vote, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell, Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Tafflin.
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney, Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch, Mark Yershaw, Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to go back to what Mr. Bruno was talking about with the East Street entrance modification for the detour for the bridge replacement project. As reported, Bob Holmes, our consulting engineer, the construction bid package, and we'll release it tomorrow. We are aiming to get back to proposal, bring to the board the winter at our next board meeting, February 7th. This is a tight time frame because the bridge replacement project is scheduled for July 1st. So that means the construction for the detour needs to occur in May and June. We back that up, we have to get a contractor on board, we have to do some permitting with Canal Corp and need, of course, prep for the job. So we're running hard to make sure we can work this project from February 7th. I also want to point out Lavella is very helpful in dealing with the permits associated with work. There's been a lot of engagement with the DEC. Just today, we got a very favorable response from the analyst who's handling our application. Traditionally, things you could do see take time. We're actually kind of knock on wood, what they expected. I know I shouldn't say it. I know. But we're hoping, obviously, if they don't issue a permit by May 1st, we're gonna have a big problem. So we're diligently working with DEC to make sure we can together so that I have no problem issuing permits very easy. This is just a road widening project. This is nothing too complex. So hopefully we'll continue to have that. And then, as I mentioned, once we select the contractor, we then have to do an application work permit to make sure there's proper safety procedures, making sure there's proper environmental procedures, and making sure insurance is in place. We're working with Nick Hansen, he's Canal Corporation's engineer, which is responsible for Lot 8. Ready to work with, he's with us step by step. So I can give him the application. He's already gonna know what's coming. So far, so good with Canal Corporation.
Let me just clarify for people. I don't know, this road, access road widening, more. Like, if you continue straight up this aerial photo, that access, that provides access to the wharf, which now corporation owns. So therefore, they have a lot of things that are on their property about how to do with that access. So that gate, ready to turn, that access road improvement, orange portion down here, and that is controlled by Canal Corporation. Because they go in there and they have staging down. Right here is the wharf. They stage, sorry, I just wanted to understand how they play.
Yeah, they benefit.
Yeah.
They really benefit.
This existing access road. It's not bad, it's not great either. When this is upgraded, it'll be a much better access.
How are they accessing the work now? Because they were sympathetic.
Yeah.
I looked.
Yeah. They come from,
So they are here.
yeah, they come from us from here. Well, right here. Yeah. That the heavy load that came and went from here did not use this road here before. They came out the main and it took the road for everything with the falls out, so that is pretty deep.
And they actually come through our property. So while we need them to go through their property, they need us to go through their property.
Yes.
So actually, well, another reason why we have good workers like this.
Either that or stand up.
Good, Mr. Bruno?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now if we could, let's pivot to seeker. As you know, last board meeting, we approved seeker part 1, which were basic questions being answered and notification to affected agencies. We have received some minor feedback, nothing major, I believe, from DEC. Isabella has responded. We're at a point now that we, the board, need to go through the seeker part 2 questions. I've asked Liz if she could guide us through this process. There are 18 questions. I'll forewarn you that we don't need to do all of them, but there are 14 that are definite no. So Liz can walk us through 4 questions that there is some impact, but we don't believe significant impact. So with that, I won't steal Liz's thunder, and I'll let her take us through this process.
And would it be beneficial to go about that work process component?
Yeah, are there any, well, let me ask the board, are there any other questions about the 4 projects that are on your map? Or would it be helpful if Liz just did another quick overview?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can jump closer to the table, we are recording and we have to
Yeah.
make sure your voice can.
Mr. Campbell, or, okay. That's all.
I'll squeeze up here.
Okay.
So we don't.
Yeah, so we got a great overview of each of the 4 project components of Seeker before, but I'll just go into them in a little bit more depth. Again, apologies, this is a repeat for a lot of folks here, but it's always good to have a refresher. Everybody has a lot going on. So the Seeker involved 4 project components. The first one, again, in no particular order, is water. So of course we want to get those utilities and infrastructure to the sites. That's in. Okay, yeah. So we wanted to get water to the site. You'll notice that the blue line here isn't actually on the canal side property at all. It's along East Street in the village of Fort Edward. The village would be providing water to the site. And we've shown they have adequate capacity, but that pipe there is really circulated, really old. It's hard to get enough water through there to the site without affecting the existing property owners, so that would be replaced. The difference between the project as it stands right now and the project as it stands for 2023, when we first submitted Seeker, is it's just extended to the west a teeny bit under the railroad tracks where that red rectangle is. So that comes with its own set of processes to go under the railroad tracks or
What required it to extend?
essentially realizing the water line.
Where's the water? It creates a lot of morbidity and discoloration. People can scream, villages don't want to say that to us. Okay. So that's the reason.
Yeah, I think it's an 8-inch pipe now that's acting as a 4 pipe. The second one is sewer. Again, has been stated, and it's gone through a lot of different phases based on different characteristics and needs. Where we stand now, there's only approximately 1,500 gallons per day of sewer for phases 1 through 5 of the anticipated or the prospective buyer, allowing us to be able to tap into Washington County Sewer District via East Street. That's that orange line. That still needs to be designed and constructed. That's something we'll be taking on now that we have this technical service change order passed. So some of the details are still being worked out, but it will be gravity sewer from the buildings on site to a pump station. That rectangle. Again, the location of that may be moved, and then a force main along that orange line to the street connection point. There'll be an easement, as Mr. Warren mentioned, with WCC, assuming they still own the land at that time. The third one is the East Street entrance modification. I think a lot has been said about that already, so I don't necessarily need to dive into that a ton. And then the fourth one isn't necessarily an infrastructure project, but it is a new water district formation in the town, those white hash marks. And it's interesting, it doesn't cover the entire canal side property, the district. That's because the portion, I guess, to the southwest
In the village.
is in the village. So they can already provide water to them on the village side, but the village can't provide water to the town side without creating this new water district formation. And Kara, I believe, will be speaking more about the map planning report necessary to form that water district. So those are the project components. I guess any questions there before I go into the Seeker specific side of things? Okay, great. So, last board meeting, we went through the Seeker EAF Environmental Assessment Form Part 1. That had a lot of information about the project, subject narrative, different components, such as acreages disturbed, et cetera, we took that information and sent it out to the interested parties and involved agencies for a 30-day notice. Again, this is not a fresh Seeker where the IBA saying, giving notice as a lead agency. They did that already in 2023. This is an amended Seeker. We're just providing notifications of all of these project updates that we just went through. The 30 days passed, we only got one comment, from DEC, just asking to make sure we had enough, or the village had enough capacity to supply water to the site. We replied with our water supply assessment report and the water modeling, water cap modeling that we've done. So that was kind of an easy response since we've already done all that work. So with the comments, with the information we know about the project and consulting with our engineering and environmental team, we went through and answered the part 2 EAF, which is again, all of these questions, pages 1 through 10, about what the environmental impacts would be, as well as put a narrative together. So I can walk through these with you. Again, most of these are no, so no environmental impacts at all. For sake of time, not even gonna go through those. There are 4 sections where we said that there would be a minor impact. The conclusion essentially is, well, there is a minor impact, we can explain all of those and believe that there's still for a neg deck, saying there's no adverse or significant environmental impacts. So I think you have it in your board packet, but I'll direct you to, I have a couple extras here too. The narrative, again, is the narrative kind of aligns with these sections, so most of them say no, but the ones that say yes, I'll go through. So the first one is the category impacts on land. We're anticipating about up to 7 acres of land would be physically disturbed. Hence why we check that yes mark, yes box. However, almost all of it is in previously disturbed areas like roads, right of way. Any sensitive areas will take precautions to do horizontal directional drilling to avoid, say, wetlands, or jack and bore under the railroad tracks, and everything will be restored back to existing conditions. I guess the other piece, the only check mark in here that is moderate in this whole country is one about the construction timeline. Because we have all these different project components, they're going to happen in different phases, which could extend over a year and leads to that. But both of those things, there's no, again, significant and adverse environmental impacts. Those are the key words for seeker. For impacts on plants and animals, that's number 7 on here. We've been dotting our I's and crossing our T's, working with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the DEC to make sure that we're being aware of any potential impacts to threatened or endangered species. We've received correspondence from both of them saying that they don't anticipate any impacts. So we should be good there. So again, no impacts, but because that road, the East Street entrance, will be within 100 feet of a wetland area, and again, we have to go do site walkthroughs for them. That's why that was checked. Their impact. Number 15, impacts on noise, odor, and light. You know, there's a construction project, so it's going to be loud. That's why that's checked. Consumption will be limited to days 7 to 5 p.m. And lastly is impacts to human health. There's a sub-question on there about the easement. Again, currently the sewer line would go through WCC property unless there's some fixings. And that's why that was checked. The rest are all no's. And so again, in conclusion, we kind of talked through why we answered the way we did. There's not going to be a ton of, environmental impact. So that's why we think we could pass, or we are recommending to pass the resolution tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So what was the,
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to accept the resolution for the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency for the State Environmental Quality Review Act seeker for the amended Canal Side Energy Park Improvements Project and adopt seeker negative declaration. Charlie, second. Dan. Any final discussion on this topic? Roll call, please, Ally.
Ryan Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yeah.
John Taflin,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney,
Yes.
Charlie Tall, Melissa Fitch, Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. I like having Brian first, keep him on his toes. All right, moving on. Chuck.
Thank you, Liz. There's a lot of work put into that, and that all went very smoothly, so thank you for all that hard work that paid off very well, thank you. Okay. So, the next item for board approval is the Labello's updated map plan report. Again, this is dated yesterday. I mentioned earlier that it's been updated with the sanitary capacity need and the fire tank refill specification. I don't know if there are any questions about the map plan report. I think we have two things to approve: the resolution map plan report, water district formation, and then the water district.
No, it's all part of the same resolution that
Okay.
is in the board packet, or I guess it was sent yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just have one
So we
resolution.
just have the one resolution. So as part of the map plan report, it envisions that we reach out to the municipality, the town of Fort Edward, and ask them to create a special district based on this particular parcel for our water district. So this is a procedure that is that the town board will follow pursuant to town law. And the first step is for us as the owner to present the municipality requesting that they establish this special water district based on the map plan report that has been presented. So what this resolution says is that that's exactly what we're doing. We've adopted a negative declaration at today's meeting. I'll change the date, so it's not 20,226. And although I don't know, maybe
It could be.
that might be a better time. I'm not sure.
Flying cars, promise flying cars.
But the resolution has you approving of the map and report as presented, and I authorize the chair or the CEO to file with the town a copy of the map plan report and the petition that is attached to it. So the petition is the document that we will take this petition along with the map plan report, file it with the town, and ask that we be placed on their agenda. They've indicated to us that they will place us on the agenda at the February 9th meeting. And then from here, the town will review our petition to be sure it's already been reviewed by town council, but the town board will review the petition and that plan report. The next step for them will be to schedule a this hearing to receive any comments about the formation process, and then following the public hearing, then they can adopt a final order to create and establish the district. But as part of this process, we've discussed with the village and the town a joint seeker determination. So like in many of our projects that come before the board, we adopt the planning board's negative declaration, and the village and the town are on board with adopting the negative declaration that you all just approved previously, because they also need to make that determination as part of this process. So everybody's been in the involved in the review of these documents, so we don't anticipate any issues, but that's the procedure. So the resolution does approve the map plan report and authorizes the filing of the petition.
Does this have gone from the planning board at all, or no?
No,
For the water district?
no,
But that-
not the establishment, yeah. And the village, because we're doing the construction, and the village has presented us with a project development agreement regarding that project, but we're in the process of reviewing that right now, but that'll come back to this board to review. It's what our obligations are gonna be with respect to the village involvement during the construction of the water district.
And I assume the district has to be done before you go forward with the project.
Right, yeah. We're the sole owner of the,
You gotta get through it first. All right, With that, I will entertain a motion accepting the resolution approving the map, plan, and report and authorizing the filing of a petition with the town of Fort Edward for the establishment of a water district pursuant to Article 12 of the town law. First, Brian, second. Dan. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell. Dan Bruno.
Yes.
John Tofflin.
Yeah.
Kevin Mahoney. Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch. Mark Yershaw.
Yep.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Just continuing on with our report, final, project is we have, collective buyer interested in natural gas for heating buildings. The prospective buyer has completed National Grid natural gas connection form. On January 15th, National Grid notified us that they could accommodate the request. However, 27, we'd be connecting into a line on the other side of the railroad track, which is being reinforced. Once that line is reinforced, we'll then do pipe underneath the railroad tracks to connect into that. There's more to come on that, but we're positive for any prospective buyer to decide that the site can be served with natural gas. Any questions about the natural gas situation? As far as maintenance updates, I have no maintenance updates. I'll now go to tenant updates that Mr. Bruno pointed out to you. It's diminishing its activity. We just learned last week, they disassembled that crane, which was incredible. As far as our current tenants, SMS Rail, now electric, they continue to be very active on the site. So that's it as far as canal side, or with the airport industrial park. Are there any other questions about that? Okay, on the airport industrial park, as Mr. Bruno pointed out, we have a local business person interested in purchasing the 26 acres at the end of Ferguson Lane and both Ferguson Lane extension lots. This person has an established business to grow the business in Washington County. The potential buyer has talked informally with Kingsbury. Kingsbury has been supportive, and I understand the potential buyer will be advancing an application to purchase land contingent on DEC approval. Hopefully we'll have more specific report at the next board meeting. And the only other thing I'll mention is you recall Glen Falls Rotary is looking to possibly utilize a 40-acre site and build a property for a potential tree farm and wildlife science center. Rotary leaders have attended the Queensbury Town Board meeting on October 21st. Feedback, and now we're slowly engaging neighbors just to see if there's any feedback from the neighbors, and again, more to come on that. And that's it for the park updates, unless there are any questions.
You mean neighbors around them in the park?
Correct, like Equal Stop, Hilltop, Roselle, those companies that are immediately around the place.
Great. Any final mulligans for Canalside or Airport Industrial Park? For new members, if you would like a tour of those sites, Chuck gives a mean tour, and please connect with him. You'll see a lot of snow, but if you wait till the spring, you'll be able to see the areas a little bit better.
This Saturday and not.
All right. We got a little bit more. We'll keep on, we're trucking ahead. Any ongoing business? Anybody have any ongoing business? All right, new business, ARCC event sponsorships. For a reminder that this board did approve in our budget $12,000 for sponsorships for 2026. And Chuck, if you have some recommendations for the team?
Yes, I know there's a very thick package that's sent out, but page 18 lists the ARCC events and sponsorships that are possible. We'd like to propose two. One, conversation with legislators, would be a presenting sponsor for $1,250. And then there is the state of the county events for both Warren and Washington counties. And we'd like to be platinum sponsor for each, which is 500, so that'd be a total of 1,000. And we're looking for authority to sponsorships for $2,250.
Need a motion?
We do need to.
Second, any discussion? Second by John. Charlie's first.
I think you select those two.
Yeah, there's a plethora, basically because it's a combination of private and public sector, as are we, so I thought it would be nice. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a nice,
yeah, no, that's fair, well.
No further discussion? Your roll call vote. Alan, for suspended motion.
Brian Campbell,
yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Tafflin,
Yeah.
Kevin Mahoney, Charlie Tall, Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yearshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. All right, moving on, Behan Communications proposals. Chuck.
So after our December board meeting, Juan and I were talking about 2025 accomplishments and thought, might be prudent to get a little bit more publicity and mileage from those accomplishments. We don't profess to be communication experts, so we did reach out to Ian and ask for proposals to go taking what we have and dressing it up for public communication, but also handling a news release. We have the proposal. It's $4,500 for communication package and $1,000 for press release for consideration.
So let me start by, my little cheat sheet here. May entertain a motion to approve that so we can get into a discussion part on that. So Melissa, second. Mark, discussion. Dan, please.
Yeah, I've kind of mixed emotions about this. I guess I'll say that, we'll give it a try, I'm okay with that. So, but, as far as the extra one, that's for the $4,500. The extra $1,000, I don't know if I can support that.
It didn't sound like they even supported that.
Yeah, so
They would rather we just.
Very capable of doing the work, they keep $1,000. Capable of doing that.
Not in the time frame we're looking for.
So we're talking about
what's the time?
End of the month.
So for the 4,500 portion is the end of the month, and then we can write and distribute a news release for additional $1,000, but I suggest that simply sending the growth and prosperity report to key reports and editors with the personnel from Chuck will be just as effective in gathering news media attention, which I agree. We can do that.
said we couldn't.
Well, writing it, right, what they're not, what they're asking about is, send them what they did instead of writing a separate beyond what they're gonna, the growth and prosperity report, using that as a baseline to send to everything. And then should the media want additional coverage, then they can come and do things. Then they can build their media reports for that.
So we're saying we can do the work and train necessary. Instead of
Well-
spending $1,000. In my mind, $1,000 back to office can't do it.
I disagree. I think this, what they're gonna do, 4,500 will accomplish.
That's what they say in their own words, that if you send that, they will come back and ask you the questions, and they will do it the way it should be done, rather than us spend $1,000 to have them summarize it for them. I don't know the answer to it, but.
Because we're about.
Right, we do have a small team, let me defer to Chuck and Ally.
Well,
Add perspective.
I only see a lot of your end data.
Yeah, the first quarter is always crazy.
Harris Ford.
No.
And
Charlie, please.
circular, using that. If you get your own, you just keep that $200,000 in interest rate. But, instead of keeping that just in cash, automatically taking it out. But they don't have, right? You don't have, we don't have a company. The company.
Yeah.
What can't we solve you with this world? Right? So looking for us to come back to us and ask questions.
That's, yeah, so you can just send it out and they'll come back.
So, because that's, how important is that second piece of full-time, what we really want is the calls to ask us questions.
Right.
We have to prioritize that first piece is critical, the second piece is we can take that and get that on our social media accounts and push it to, the media.
We also do know all the reporters, so, you know, Chronicle, Post-Star, all the Business Review, Bucks Falls Journal, so, we could do, obviously not as well, but, some sort of communication to these media outlets.
Well, doesn't have, excuse me, Baldwin.
Right. Hey, I'll do it. I'll do $8,000, push email, here's our communication package of our 25 accomplishments. We're very proud of questions we'd love to speak with you. Sure. Is our intern still going, or have we got no? So your intern could very well do that and do a good job. Sure. No, I really got there. I should see that on LinkedIn when it's finished. Yeah. Yeah, we've already actually been pushing. Well, they've been doing a good job. Yeah. Thank you, team member. Yep. We have a meeting with her tomorrow, actually. She's still in Brazil. Or is she in Florida now?
She's back to Florida,
Right.
back to school.
Remote summer. Months and stuff. Working very well. France.
So with that,
Florida. You can be anywhere.
well, I think we've got a consensus here. With that, I will entertain a motion to accept, professional fees for creating the growth and prosperity report for $4,500 from Behind Communication. Melissa, second. Dan, final discussions. All right, we're spending money, so roll call, please, Alex.
Brian Campbell,
Yeah.
Dan Bruno,
Yeah.
John Tafflin,
Yes.
Kevin Mahoney, Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw, Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. All right, new business. Let me, circle back on the construction access road project. We are, because of the price tag that we're anticipating for this, we are, expecting that to be a sealed bid. And so what we want to do is, dot our i's and cross our t's. Yes, like that, better. I do want to entertain a motion to accept the resolution authorizing, the release of the bid to, for out tomorrow.
So the RFP will to bid.
Right, and then,
Oh. that was good.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll do it.
Brian, second. Charlie, final discussion.
The only thing I want to point out here is, Mr. Bart and I talked about this earlier. Take modifications here. And additionally, on the, this is a big page 5, the, down here. The sealed bid must stay grid, blah, blah, blah. The next one says sealed must identify. That's up to word bid.
Okay, we will add that. Okay, so sealed bid language is, we were talking about making sure the sealed language is in there, we will find something, so thank you.
Great. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Alex.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
John Tafflin.
Yeah.
Kevin Mahoney, Charlie Tall.
Yeah.
Melissa Fitch,
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, motion passes. Let's move on to check signers, have a quick discussion with the team here with our two bankers leaving. Two of our three check signers are actually no longer on the board, which leaves me as a sole check signer. When we vote in a new treasurer next month, that we'll have two check signers, but we like to have three. If we can't, we have to decide whether you're gonna allow me to, we have what's our 600, any bill over $600 requires a second signer for checks and balances. But during COVID, we had prior chair released a resolution that allowed it only be one person. So we're at the point now where we have to decide as a board if you're going to allow me to, or allow us to release the checks that I sign for the next 30 days, or if we can find one check signer that can help out during this process. But we do have 6 checks that will be late if we don't find a check signer today and get that process running. So I'll open to the board for discussion on this topic.
Do
Go through Brian.
He's volunteering the banks. The bank.
I get you the paper every day.
Don't stop. Do we have a volunteer? Can we, how long will it take to get a check signer up and running if you can do the paperwork?
I was just gonna say, so that will, it all depends on, how quickly we can get the paperwork done. You probably have it in there. So, yeah, probably quicker than normal.
So we'll leave the treasurer one open. If we can get Mark, Yearshaw, in, then he can sign the second, do the second on those checks, and then we can,
Okay.
do that.
The resolution.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Yes,
resolution?
the
Yeah.
the bank will send that over. and we can-
has the resolution.
So we can verbally approve the resolution? Okay. So, with that, I will entertain a motion to accept Mark Yearshaw as a check signer for the IDA. Brian and John second.
Alligator arms there.
Roll call. So easy to volunteer others.
Brian Campbell.
Yeah.
Dan Bruno.
That's provided to do the fishing.
I'm sure he is.
Says the county supervisor.
John Toughlin,
Yeah.
Kevin Mahoney,
If you don't know.
Kevin.
Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch, Mark Yearshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. We appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And I know our vendors appreciate that as well. I did want to mention for new board members, another item that you'll be hearing about is the CHPE, the Champlain Hudson Power Express project that's coming through. We did receive a letter last month saying that the end date is actually been delayed until May 29th, yeah, May 30th. So right in there. And there is a $2 million economic development payment for the IGA coming shortly after that is operational. This doesn't mean there won't be another extension, but as we're talking and you hear about a $2 million economic development payment, that is because of that project. So that until that money is in the bank, we won't count on it, but it is contingent on that project getting the lights shut on. And then there's further beyond that is community host benefit package and payments for Washington County, and as well as pilot as well. And we'll have further discussions on that as well. But just wanted to get you somewhat familiar with those topics as we are talking about the Mountain Sport meetings.
There's a reconciliation. Estimated construction spend, so that'll be reconciled. And then apparently the pilot payments for Washington County will occur 6 months after.
And does the payment come shortly after or 6 months after?
Shortly.
Ours is shortly, yeah, the two payments, community host benefit payment and
Next year,
pilot.
27. Yeah. 27.
So that, right, so the construction end date, whenever that is, plus the final evaluation of the construction cost will determine the final numbers that gets us.
How much is the other budget? Our 2 million or-
Oh, no, our $2 million is locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are they over budget, you know?
Don't know. But the cost of materials, in the last 2 years, I'm gonna estimate.
The amount of stuff you had to get there in a hurry to make it happen that fast.
Yeah.
Washington County estimate the pilot was 451 million. So probably north of that.
Great. All right. Normally we don't stay this long and we're almost done, so please stick with us. And, next board meeting will go a little bit faster with staff report, CEO.
So I'll go very quickly. This is report from December 16th to January 19th. And given the holidays and vacations, there was obviously less work time. Back on December 16th, 80K Techs upgraded our hardware and office, and now we are complete with the transition to 80K Techs, taking care of our computer system. On the 22nd, I had a conference call with the incoming Johnsburg Town Supervisor, Mark Smith, Jim Siflon and Ethan Gaddy to provide insight on community and economic development initiatives in Johnsburg. Then on the 23rd, Ally and I had our bi-weekly call with our social intern. Do good work. Last week after I returned from vacation, I was actively working on issues with the prospective buyer
Hopefully we'll get to a point where it's more official once we're let the buyer continue doing their due diligence. And as far as the pipeline list that I on the report on, we have 17 projects in the pipeline. We have 4 in mixed use, 4 in housing, 4 in hotel resort, 5 in manufacturing distribution, and 1 in food and beverage. Of those 17, 3 are underway, 5 are possibly being worked upon, nothing confirmed yet. And we have 9 the companies are still exploring, and we have well over 10 that for one reason or another have not decided to move forward with either the project or not based on the idea. And that's it for my update.
Great, moving on to the administrator.
Yeah, so the town and county and special district taxes went out the first week of January, and we have received 6 payments so far, which is it's a good start. And I also wanted to let the board members that were on the board for 2025. I don't know if you saw the evaluation, the member evaluation that I sent. When you have a moment, please fill them out and submit them so that I can do my ABO reporting. That was just a quick reminder. And I also wanted to update everyone on the transition from desktop QuickBooks to online QuickBooks. We are now fully online, and it's a transition for me. I'm still working on it, but slow but sure. Every day I get a little bit better. But it'll definitely come in handy with the payroll. This is now all automatically connected to the bank, and it gets automatically calculated. The taxes get automatically figured out and paid. Before that, I was doing it manually, so this will help me out tremendously. And I'm excited for that to take place. So we're getting there. That's all I had.
Great. Any questions?
Well, QuickBooks, is there any course that you want to take? Or
Is there a course available?
someone that could good teacher?
Well, I have had so far unsuccessful attempts to do, they say that they have, experts online that you can do chats with. It hasn't worked out very well so far, but fortunately our bookkeeper is well versed in it as well. So if I really get stuck, she certainly helped me out. I don't know. I don't, I'm not sure. From the accountant that we have right now? No, she referred me to their help desk, the QuickBooks experts.
Knows anybody who's worked on that, maybe recommend it to her and possibly get a few $100 out there to pay somebody to come in and give you a little.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for the online, because I was very surprised at the difference between the two. I didn't think that it's just a completely different
We'll see that, but the good news about QuickBooks Online is Karen, the traveling time and all that is gone, because Karen can actually log in and see what she's seeing at the same time, and they can discuss that while Karen's wherever she's at. So there's still, we have plenty in the funds to be able to get some hours there with training should she need it. So
I don't have, I'm just saying it'd be nice to have someone who's outside.
Yeah.
But then give you a hand if you feel uncomfortable in any of it. Pick up shortcuts.
Right, yeah, that's a great idea. Shortcuts are always welcome. I'm kind of nervous. Obviously, it's not the end of the month yet, so I don't know how taxes are going to work, because I'm used to being in control of everything, and I don't know how it works, where I just kind of sit back and say, yeah, do it, and without checking. I don't know. We'll see. But
you probably get a review.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can
You might
review the
still
numbers and
By hand,
yeah,
make sure it's
I
right,
know.
yeah.
I know. So
Work in
Pretty-
progress.
pretty good to it.
The online version, yes.
And so build custom reports, dump everything out pretty easily, so you can actually not have to work online. You dump it all out in CSV,
Okay.
and with that, you can even reconcile the bank statements with your cash in the bank.
Oh.
So we kind of have to move into it.
Mm-hmm.
But the reports that you can create, your own custom reports online, will help you a lot. You can just dump it out and find it snap. And by the way, every log on, every action you do is recorded in a file.
Mhm.
And if you wanted to go back and look at the audit file, you can find out where you, how much time you spent, how many mistakes you made or didn't. So, and whereas you want to before. Like the people who get on the phone and pay the service, right? They don't understand.
Right.
It's mostly built for commercial side.
Mhm.
They're a little bit-
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Reach out to me if you have a question, I might be.
Okay. Thank you.
Great.
I won't be able to help in any way.
Okay.
I know you were thinking that.
All right, anything else for our administrator?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
By Eve Lightfoot.
Yes, sir.
You guys, in the work in this business, how many of you have voted yes for a seeker in your lifetime for this kind of stuff? I never have yes voted that, it's always no. So why would you bother? Holy no. Everything. I vote no. You agree?
You mean,
Great.
check boxes in?
Yeah. Nobody votes.
No,
Vote yes.
Correction, if we were building a site, we would hit yes for the environmental. The project we're doing here is very minor, so it's not a surprise that it was a negative declaration. You see what I mean? Given the scope was a very minor scope, so if it were a major scope, it would probably trigger a positive declaration.
I just saw it, I remember for 16 years in the county and doing these things. We never voted anything.
Great.
We always vote to pass it, but you're right, everything is, no, it's not a problem, no, it's not a problem.
Great.
Thank you for everything.
Don't worry. All righty. Any final public comments? We do have to keep you guys for 5 more minutes and we will be, have Kara take us into executive sessions with no decisions afterwards.
To discuss, the sale of real property. Of, if we discuss it in public, it impact the value,
And there will be no
no decision.
decisions made after. So I will entertain a motion to go into executive session and what's the second part? In the idea or
You're just gonna go into.
go in executive session? Yes, she did the legal real estate portion. Mark, second. Dan, all in favor? Aye.